we're back.
Yeah, we're back. I hope you're still reeling from the abuse of hotness from How to Handle Grown-Ups. even if it didn't involve penetration.
CMC orgy.
Woohoo! Oh wait, Cutie Mark Crusader cum dumpsters. Yay!
Fresh rarity milk.
Ew! Don't involve lactation into this.
No, it's a picture.
No, don't send me any pictures while I'm doing this.
Why not? It's funny.
Well, still, I just want to get through this without any more interruptions.
Okay.
I probably might have to still do this even when my aunt comes down and drops her dog off.
Fun.
Oh. Okay. I've read this story before, so I've actually read this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Alright, it's called Spoon by Yago7.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, let's get this shit over with.
Fun.
Her coat was such a stylish color of blue-gray, perfectly accented by the regal silver of her mane. A pair of large styling glasses sat atop her tiny muzzle, and a string of blue pearls circled her neck. She sat at the other end of my couch, smiling, enraptured at the confection she held between her hooves. Silver Spoon had practically forgotten about everything around her, or did she? Oh, this ought to be interesting.
Yep.
Her eyes flicked over at me as she gazed at me half-lidded. In all honesty, I knew it was coming. She smirked that devious little smirk of hers. The filly's eyes fell back to the pink cupcake she was cradling. Slowly, almost agonizingly, she lifted it close to her mouth. I swear I could see her breath as it writhed over the ridges in the frosting. Oh, Celestia, this little fool was so mesmeric when she wanted to be. Oh, and I'll tell you this. This is actually like 2,000 words shorter than the last one.
Oh, well, that's good, I guess.
Yeah.
Ew, Twilight with 6 tits.
No, don't send me it. Don't send me it.
I'm not. I'm just looking.
Silver opened her mouth, and her eyes jumped back to me. There it was, that little pink tongue lolled out and hovered just above the surface of the tray. She loved teasing me, and I'd be a liar if I said I didn't love it when she did it. With her eyes still fixed on me, the gray pony pressed her tongue forward into the sugary pastel concoction. The slick organ curled lightly and gathered up of a helping of frosting. She closed her eyes and retracted it slowly, leaving pink smudges on her lips. The bespectacled filly rolled her tongue around in her mouth for a second. She then swallowed and gave a small happy murmur. I was in a trance. Silver Spoon went back again and again, slowly lapping the rose-colored icing off the top of the small paper-wrapped cake. Then it happened. She leaned in once and got a dab of pink sweetness on her velvety muzzle. A soft blush crept through her short coat, and she looked at me with those big lilac eyes, inviting me to give my assistance. Hey, could you use your fingers? Oh, it's starting to get hot in a flash.
No kidding.
Blinking at her and fidgeting with my hand, it was my turn to blush now. I maneuvered over to the foal on the other side of the sofa, the old spring stringing and crinkling under my weight. Silver lowered the cupcake to her lap and turned and presented her cute little snout to me. The smile that crept onto my lips was unstoppable, and it was big. I could see it reflected on those expensive designer glasses of hers. There wasn't really much of a mess on that tiny nose. I raised my right hand up and and wiped the frosting off from my index finger. Pulling it back, I was about to put that finger into my mouth, and I glanced over to her. She had her eyes closed and her mouth open, waiting. Ah. Yeah, she wants me to feed her now. This was new. Wow, she was really pulling out on all stops today. Silver Spoon let her tongue hang out a little more as the anticipation mounted. I took a moment to admire the beautiful filly before succumbing to her game. She was so perfect, barring a light attitude problem that Diamond Tiara seemed to infect her with. Jesus. Unable to make her wait any longer, I placed my frosting-covered digit into her expectant mouth. A small whimper squeaked out of the filly and my heart leapt. I felt her twirl that dexterous little tongue of hers around my finger. As it slid smoothly over the tip and knuckles, goosebumps pricked up my arms and neck. Opening her eyes again, the gray fold closed her lips around my finger as she sucked it back off of me. The wet pop then snapped forth was rewarding and pleasant. Shit, she's actually going with this.
Yeah.
She was looking at me again, seemingly happy, but not satiated. She was looking at me this way before, but not quite as hungrily. Silver let her glance fall back down to the delicacy in her lap. Her right hoof scraped up what little of the frosting was left, and she grinned as he presented it to me. Was this going to be the time? The afternoon where we'd finally take our relationship to the next level? I kept moving along with the plate that was acting out in my living room. Instead of letting her just put her hoof in my mouth, I placed my hands around her soft foreleg and moved a little closer to her. Slowly, I looked along the edge of her little hoof, reveling in the soft velveteen texture of her coat. Her taking particular delight in running my tongue across the pad and then the little ridges on the outside. I collected every bit of the sugary mixture that I could. The gray filly blushed hotter and hotter as I progressed, apparently pleased with the job I was doing. As I tongued the hoof with my hands, I closed my eyes and took note of the interesting taste and sensations beyond that of the decadent strawberry frosting. The delicate flavor of her coat, the tantalizing texture of the different parts of her hoof, the scent of her body in general. I was lost in the act I was performing, and suddenly I was cast into a different role. What is he, an actor?
Who knows?
Before I could think, I felt a pair of glasses on my forehead and a soft little muzzle shoved next to my nose. Her hoof was no longer touching my mouth. It was replaced by her satiny lips, lightly moistened from her own saliva and cake frosting. My eyes flicked open immediately. I was just so surprised by her forwardness. I gazed intently at the foal who was now kissing me. Silver Spoon's eyes were tightly shut, and she was almost shivering. She must have been nervous. I kind of felt the same way. It was true. I had dreamt of a moment like this since she started hanging out with me and coming over to my house. Although it wasn't the time to think, it was the time to act. Jeez. Jeez, would you act the same way if a little girl was coming over to your house every day?
Nope. Would you?
I don't know. My mind's fucked up at the moment. I felt the warmness of her. Oh shit! I messed up. I felt the softness of her warm short coat as I slid my arms around her body. She practically melted in my embrace, and her whole body against me. The cupcakes stumped rolling to the floor. The moment I felt her chest pressed against my shirt, my eyes felt closed, and the situation finally settled into my mind. Silver gave a quick low moan as I leaned into her kiss. The texture of her lips was delicate and silky, the kind of sensation that you never want to stop feeling. The young pony turned her head to the side and mashed her little muzzle into me even more. Then she broke the kiss very slowly. I listened to the most erotic sound, the gradual wet separation from our lips. We both opened our eyes at the same time, almost hesitant to see one another after the event had just transpired. Silver Spoon's eyelids were drooped, and as she gazed at me with those lilac eyes, it was almost as if I had just awoken from a dream. The pink blush that had spread across her face was the perfect accent to the blue of her glasses. I smiled. I couldn't have been any happier. She leaned in again, and I met her halfway. Once again, my lips were adhered to those of the stylish gray fool in my living room. Our kissing picked up in intensity pretty quickly. The floodgates had opened, and the passion took over us. I wasn't long before I got the opportunity to push things to the next level. I parted my lips more with each peck of our lips, and Silver was doing the same, mimicking my motions as we explored the sensations. When I had the chance, I dipped my tongue in. I dipped the tip of my tongue into her mouth. I felt her body jolt, and the filly gave a tiny gasp at my intrusion. Fortunately, she didn't feel the need to halt my advances. In no time, I felt her timid little tongue greet mine. The soft organ ran across my own, wet and curious, easing its way into my mouth. The young pony gently tussled with my tongue. I could taste that wonderful frosting from earlier, as well as the cherry soda that I had given her when she first arrived in the afternoon. The taste quickly became something I needed, magnifying as we wrestled our tongues together. Woohoo! Jeez, they're really getting into this.
Yep, she is.
Silver Spoon shifted around a bit, and I could hear her little tail flicking around a bit on my couch. Quiet snaps every so often against the upholstery. I managed my fingers into her back, delighting in the softness of that sleek coat of hers. I sighed contentedly into my mouth and reciprocated as best as I could. Those little hooves were rubbing and working into my back and sides. It was adorable to say the least. I decided to try my luck just a little bit, and I let a hand fall into her petite rump. The foal jumped just a bit, but again, she didn't seem to want me to stop. I squeezed that soft little butt and her tail whipped even more quicker than before. Shit. What now?
Nothing.
We explored the wonders of each of our mouths for what seemed like hours, but I'm sure it was probably only 20 or 30 minutes. I pulled my tongue back and kissed her firmly as the tongue battle finally came to a close. Her little chest was rising and falling as she regained her breath and her composure. Silver smiled at me again. Oh, Celestia, how I loved her warm little smile. That filly had a look that could kill anyone on the spot, but I'm pretty sure.
Cute.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure she saved all of her happy ones just for me. Any lingering doubt I had was gone now. Our friendly relationship had already changed a lot today, but it was about to change a lot more. Well, at least she isn't a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, she is willing this time for some fun.
Yeah. But of course, as I've heard around, of course I heard her that she actually knows what sex is in the fanon. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah. There was this one other story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it only lasted like 5 chapters. I don't know if that guy's gonna do any more. So. Okay. I hooked my arms under her forelegs and picked her up towards me. Silver Spoon yelped at my sudden grab, but she giggled as I moved with her in my arms. As I reclined back against the arm of the couch, I turned her around and nestled her on my lap, facing away from me. I kissed the top of her head a few times and hugged her close. breathing in the scent of her mane as I sighed happily. It was lavender with just a hint of sweat, oddly pleasing to the senses. Silver relaxed her body into my embrace and cooed sweetly as I kissed behind her right ear. Nibbling those tiny ears was something I had often longed for, and I wasn't about to hold back now. Extending my tongue, I licked her velvet ear from the base to the tip. That reaction, it was almost as if she had been struck by lightning.
That's adorable.
Nearly jerking out of my grasp. My ears are really sensitive. Please. I laughed softly and repeated the same action I had just done, but much slower. The cute little fool moaned and squirmed in my arms. Her rump grinding against my crotch. It was hard as steel at the moment, and even through my pants, that butt was more than capable of making me come. Still, the need to do it outweighed my self-control as I nipped her ear. She squealed loudly. Her voice sounded more wonderful when it strained like that. I wanted to just keep biting, but I just didn't have it in me to make her more uncomfortable. Silver Spoon was panting softly once she stopped flailing her hooves around. She really was that sensitive. Years aside, I was really turned on by the gray filly and my hands roamed over her body. I smiled as I felt that short fur under my palms. Like the most elegant designer fabric, Silver kept her coat so clean and smooth. She must have spent hours on it each day. I almost felt like I was defiling her beauty by putting my hands on her. Every brush of my palms and fingers over her coat was a pinprick of arousal, growing stronger with each movement. I let my right hand drift down to her stomach, and I couldn't help but indulge myself. I pressed gently and rubbed circles on her soft little belly, occasionally feeling a digit brush over her navel. She whimpered in that enchanting voice of hers, wordlessly commanding me to go further. I silently complied and dropped further south, growing anxious with my menstruations. I was breathless in my hand as my hand pressed the gentle swells of her little teats. Yeah, ponies do have tits.
Yeah, but they're in the wrong place.
Oh, of course, that's pretty much where the typical horse teats are.
Yep.
Ugh. I moved my hand over them very softly, feeling the tips of her tiny nipples against my palms. Silver Spoon shifted and her breathing became heavier, dotted with little oohs and ahs as I slowly kneaded them. Excuse me. I leaned my head down and placed little knees on her neck, enjoying her noises and looking up at her blushing, pleased expression. The young pony's eyes were shut hard and her glasses were askew. Her mouth slightly opened and her breathing quivered. I was admiring her. I felt two little hooves push my hand downward. I was very happy to oblige and let Silver push my hand wherever she wanted it. As my digits came to rest on her damp, heated mound, her mouth opened and a small moan creaked its way out. I pressed my fingers against her, my middle one partly sinking into her slickness and the other massaging the outer folds. Her little full parts were sopping wet with arousal, and my fingers slid along them with little to no resistance. Oh yeah, here it comes.
Nice.
While I rubbed and played with her, I finally started smelling it. Silver Spoon had a delicately musky scent. It was making my mouth water and my harness even more uncomfortable in my pants. I played with her a bit, pushing my middle finger into the grease. Oh crap! I don't know this number, so.
I hate it when that happens.
I know. Me too. Fuck. I played with her a bit, pushing my middle finger into her, into the little gray filly's dripping wet heat. Her insides were still warm, almost hot, holding tightly around my intrusion. Building a slow rhythm, I pumped my digit inside of her, stirring up the now growing supply of fluids. Reacting to turn, the filly began grinding her hips against my finger, trying to get it deeper into her body. I gladly obliged, curling it up into as far as I could in our current position. Her delightful little moans were becoming more frequent, and her breathing was growing increasingly ragged, or whatever. Just when I thought she had become completely lost in the moment, she half opened her eyes and looked over at me. We're gonna do more, right? I laughed and inquired, well, what do you have in mind? She smiled one of...
The 2-in-1 Swiffer Sweeper, a great clean.
Oh, what the hell? Can you pause that, please? Oh, Jesus. You can't pause it, can you?
Can't pause what? Wait, you have ads still?
No. I think it's coming from your end.
No, it's not. I'm not playing anything.
Oh, it must have been from my YouTube. Yeah, my YouTube is up right now.
Nice.
Oh, I can't wait to get royally screwed by those. Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is why I use the ad blockers on my computers.
Oh, I can't wait to get royally fucked by copyright infringement. So.
Wow, that was less than 30 seconds.
That was less than 30 seconds.
You're clean.
Okay. She smiled one of those sly smiles of hers. I haven't seen yours yet, you know. Uh-oh, she wants to see that big-ass human dick.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, I'm sick. With that, I removed my hand from between her legs and allowed her to sit up and turn around. I was about to ask her something stupid like, "Are you sure?" But she was so fixated on seeing what I had to offer, I didn't even want to bother with jokes or anything. Her stare was practically boring a hole in the front of my clothing. I unzipped them, then laid back and pulling them off, casting them over the back of the couch. Now I was in my plain white t-shirt and a pair of pinstripe boxers, and my erection was begging to be set free. Silver Spoon wasn't about to deny that freedom. She looked up at me inquisitively, as if to ask my permission. I gave her a nod and a smile, and then she was upon me. Expecting a hoof, I was presently surprised that a soft muzzle brushed against my strange bulge in my shorts. This fool, I swear, she didn't seem to be able to do anything without working my hormones into a fit. She knew it too. Silver planted kisses across my clothes direction as I squirmed about in delight. Oh man, I was anxious, reaching down and hooking my thumbs around the elastic waistband. I winked at her and grinned. She moved a bit, giving me the space that I needed to slide off the clothed prison which was constraining my manhood. As I did, said manhood sprang up, free from its confinement. The little gray filly's eyes went wide. It was almost as if anything was actually a game up until my own nudity was revealed. Her calm, almost controlling demeanor had shrank into almost nothing, and I was graced with a timid little foal. Aside, I'm sure that very few have ever seen a Silver Spoon. She swallowed and put on a more serious expression, belied by the rosy blush that had crept along her cheeks. She took a breath of that velvety little nose of hers was between my legs once again. Starting at the base, she began nuzzling my penis, letting it brush onto the sides of her face. Her coat was like a dream. It it was one of the softest things I have ever touched, and now it was rubbing against my most sensitive areas. It was taking a considerable amount of effort to not just explode right then and there. I began leaking a bit of pre-cum each time the little gray foal would press her muzzle against me. I gave a louder moan than the other sounds I have been making, to sort of catch her attention. She looked up and then back at the object of her attention. She sniffed at the liquid forming at the tip, and her blush grew even deeper, and she leaned in. Wet warmth. Silver Spoon had now placed her mouth over the head of my dick, and it was licking along the underside and across the tip, effectively cleaning the salty, bitter fluid off of me. She pulled back and was judging my reaction, silently wondering what to do. This time she didn't wrap her mouth around me, but she shifted her position and placed her soft little hooves on my manhood. Slowly she began tonguing the head of my cock while looking up at my face, judging my reaction. Looking down and seeing her with those wide violet eyes and my dick in her mouth. I had to bite my lip to physically fight back my orgasm. Oh, how badly I would have loved to coat those glasses in my cum, but that's not how I wanted our first time to end. Silver's licking was now working over my full length of my shaft, and when she got to the tip, she sucked on the head for a few moments. I wanted it to go on forever, but it was just way too much. I pulled off my shirt, and her eyes traced my body, but she didn't stop licking for even a moment. Begrudgingly, I interrupted her oral attention. Reaching down, I grabbed her under her forelegs and pulled her up onto my body. As I settled her onto my chest, I felt my dick pressing onto the center of the full pussy that I wanted so badly. The very tip of it was parting her tiny folds. It was almost agonizing waiting for it. I wondered how Silver Spoon was feeling, and I looked into her eyes. She wasn't afraid or worried. She was panting and eager, propping herself up with her forelegs on the outside of my chest. She wiggled her butt around, sliding her wetness around my cock. The filly bit her lip and then spoke out, "Please." I didn't need any more of an invite than that. I reached down and grabbed that pert little rump in my hands. She held still, and then I pushed her downwards, slowly working into her. The heat was no less than that of fire, and her young pussy was tight like a rubber band as it stretched to accommodate me. She cried out and shut her eyes tightly as the head slipped into her. She wore a pained expression, and I slowed a bit. The last thing I wanted was to physically harm her. Getting a little rhythm going, I pushed just the head in and out of her, and to try to get her body accustomed to the intrusion. Silver began panting as her tension lifted and her body relaxed. The pain had dissipated, and warmth of pleasure had replaced it as she picked up my rhythm and started humping back against me. Okay. Each small thrust sank my cock deeper into her winking sacs, and the feeling was unmanageable. As tight as her little pussy was, it was like sliding into warm satin each and every time. The little thrust grew into full deep pumping, and Silver Spoon became more and more vocal about it, moaning each time I entered her. Her mouth constantly held agape. She occasionally called out my name. Her expertly styled mane bounced around while she grinded her hips against me, trying to take as much of me as possible. That little ponytail of hers bobbed around as it hung off the right side of her head and onto my chest. My fingers were probably going to leave marks on her ass as tightly as I was grasping it, using the leverage to spear my cock into her. I began pounding myself into her, trying to hold back as long as I could. There was There was no way I could come if she didn't. The sounds of the crinkling springs on the couch and the repetitive wet slap of her matted fur against my body filled the room. Each time I slammed into her, I hilted, quite sure the tip of my dick was just barely passing against her cervix. All her strength was depleting as Silver Spoon's legs gave out. She laid her body on my chest, and I was more than contented with doing all the work. Her mouth hung open as she screamed and moaned, drooling a bit on my chest and calling out my name. The gray filly's glasses fell to the floor, and she buried her muzzle into me. I could feel her erratic breathing, and I knew she was close. I kept up the pace, enjoying every little bit of the sweaty little fall I had laying on me. Suddenly, Silver's lavender eyes opened wide, and she squeezed her little legs around my chest. She squealed loudly and dug at me with her hooves. The foal's body writhed around, and her voice strained and cracked. Her filly hood clenched around me tightly, and her whole body shook. She cried out, and a gush of fluids erupted around my cock. There it was. I finally let myself go. I pushed in as deep as I could into her tiny pussy, and her juices flooded out and around my balls and onto the couch. Groaning loudly, everything was a blur, and I shot my seed deep into her body. Spurt after spurt, I coated her intervals with my cum. I cried out her name and dug my nails into her little rump. Holy shit. I put my arms around Silver Spoon and pulled her off my cock towards me so her head was next to mine. The mixture of our fluids dribbled out of her and would later stain the couch. I hugged her close.
That's adorable.
I hugged her close and kissed her softly. The gray filly gently returned the kiss and then buried her head onto my chest. She was so warm and so soft and warm. I was in heaven with her in my arms. I slid the pink hair tie off and undid her ponytail. She cooed softly when I stroked her mane with my fingers, and she made the most pleased noise when I scratched her back. She was adorable and sweet, but you never know if you saw her in public. I gladly petted and scratched her until we both fall asleep. It was the perfect beginning to a great summer. And that's it.
That was adorable.
Yeah, despite the subject matter, it was pretty cute.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I mean, for being human, that was pretty cute. I mean, the first one was just sick.
Yeah, I know.
Because he was a pedophile.
Yeah, but even, I mean, yeah, he was a pedo in this one, but he consented, really. Well, they both did.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, listen to this comment by Swiper the Fox.
Oh, jeez.
Well, in this story, she freely consents, she loves it, she knows what sex is, and otherwise things work out great. She does have her cutie mark. I guess you can interpret her as a young teenager, or maybe a tween. I don't know. Morally, I have a little problem with this, since it's informed consent all around. I don't think you should either. But of course, no problem if you do. Love and tolerate.
Yeah, I mean, this one was cuter than the first one, and I mean, this one she could easily be older than in the canon show.
Yeah.
Hilton Gardens. Unless this is Dad's, I have no idea. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay. Excuse me. My phone rang and his phone rang. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, she is probably like 3 years younger than Twilight. So 15.
I don't know. Oh, You should hear this comment.
Oh, jeez.
Alright, hold on. Nah, I don't really have a big of an issue with it. Just some nagging thoughts. I've actually made the very argument you just made in another forum in a topic of bestiality. Quote, seeing that if the animals were capable of understanding every implication and such, then I wouldn't have a problem with it, but they aren't. They're just thought I'd clarify lest it be taken wrong, unquote. Pedophilia is just a fetish I thankfully fought off a while ago, so I tend to get a little touchy about younger sex participants. And then there's the response. You fought off pedophilia? Whoa, well done, for real. I've never heard anyone mentioning that before. Silver Spoon's age did sort of bother me throughout the story, but it just works. It's just a work of fiction, so it's all good. Shit.
Nice. Okay, these are really nice. I am definitely looking forward to Christmas this year. I'm getting these. Oh, the red ones, not the orange ones.
Okay, I'm looking at a pair of Sennheiser HD HD 229 white orange headphones.
Yeah,
white, orange,
but
black, red.
There's the basically the site gives you color options.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the red and black ones.
Yeah. Yeah, the red and
They're
black
really
ones look
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Alright, price is $47.55, and this item ships for free with Super Saver shipping. Okay.
Yeah, well, that is really strange because the white ones were cheaper than the black ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they paid $53 for them.
Well, since we're pretty much done with this whole thing, what are your thoughts on this whole experience?
Interesting. One of them was good. One of them was disgusting.
I mean, yeah. How to handle grown-ups was it's actually really well written, but I just don't like what the relationship is going on in this.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why I like the one. That's why I like the other fan fiction that I read.
Yeah, the one with a silver spoon, but
yeah.
that one was adorable.
Yeah.
What?
I like stories. I like the kind of stories where they're in a happy relationship. That includes full-con or lolis, whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess lolis are pretty much like a thing for me, but I'm not really that into it. So I don't know. I'm just into the more dramatic or romantic aspects of it.
Yeah.
I'm actually even reading Lolita, like the whole story that pretty much started the whole thing.
Yeah.
I heard that was a great book. Like Sean or Super 5, he read it before and he loved it.
Oh yeah.
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 And there's actually already two movies already out. The one made by Stanley Kubrick and another one that had Jeremy Irons in it.
Yeah, those were the were the really good pair that I used for home.
The Sennheiser HD 555 professional headphones with sound channeling.
Yep, Those are amazing headphones, but they are not cheap by any means.
Yeah, I could see like almost $180.
Oh yeah, I mean these are regularly priced around 200. But these ones I really want, but will never get because they are $1,700. Well, but Amazon has them priced cheaper. Yeah, those are $1,700 headphones.
It's coming up. It's the Sennheiser HD 800 over-ear circumoral dynamic Premier headphone.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
What?
$1,499.95. That is expensive.
Yeah, but
Even for headphones.
They are nice headphones.
Even for headphones, that's expensive.
Yeah, well, we got the Bose for $300, but those cancel noise. Those don't.
I love noise canceling headphones. I don't want to hear any interruptions from the outside world.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna turn off the recording now because I'm pretty much done with this whole thing, and I'm possibly gonna upload it either today or tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this was my double CLOPFIC double feature, whatever you want to call it, and featuring Diamond TR and Silver Spoon. So in my usual fashion, this is Ginrollins211 signing off.
And this is Adam. What?
Alright.